Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lotus D's channel. Wow, it is already Thursday. The week is flying by. I really do appreciate you all taking the time to visit my channel on a day-to-day basis. It really means a lot. So thank you for those who have been here. Those who have not been here before, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. We're gonna get into it though. We've been discussing relationships for a lot here lately. I didn't even know that was a topic that I really like to dive into until recently, especially since everyone's keeps saying, things are affecting everyone and things that are going on outside. Not always within our little bubble, but they're invading, unfortunately, into that as well because of things that are taking place outside and the fear mongering and things of that nature that continue to go on, in life, period. But whether it be your job, whether it be groceries, whether it be child care, so it's so much happening, guys, and I just really hope that you understand this channel is for you to unwind, loosen up, you know, and just sit with me for a bit and we can discuss some things that maybe first of all, have nothing to do with that, but have everything to do with you. How does that sound? Cool? Right. So, for those of you who've been here for a minute, we're talking about relationships that I mentioned ago. We are now on part three. But, and this is actually second day in a row. So I am trying to keep this going, guys. I'm trying. But that being said, it is all about toxicity and behaviors that we see. Whew. I've gotten some comments and they have been interesting. Some have compared to some of the things that has happened to them. And so they like the points that I brought out. They enjoyed the self-care part, and we're going to get into that today. And there's also been some who just didn't really understand where I was coming from. So I want to be very transparent on what I speak to and how I speak to it. Okay. So that being said, we've gone over recognizing the, I guess you could call them red flags, when it comes to learning or finding out that someone has a toxic behavior. I'm not saying they have a toxic soul. Someone said behavior. Yeah, behavior. They act a certain way. They continuously just demonstrate certain levels of toxicity, which in the end is a lot. It covers anywhere from being angry to being just outright mean and bullying, um, and making you feel less than all the time. And they don't care. It's a difference. There's people who can go there, right? They're going through something, they're stressed out, and for maybe that day or maybe even a period of time because they're going through that stress, they're speaking a certain kind of way. And those people need to check it too. But the biggest thing of it all is that to understand that there's grace and everyone deserves it, but there's also someone who is taking advantage of you that makes it totally different. But by being passive aggressive, you're not helping out at all. So we're going to talk about that. What does it mean when you've done the recognizing of the red flags? You say, okay, you've done the part of setting those boundaries and made them very clear of what your boundaries are, and they still consistently seem to don't care. You may need to seek some support, to ensure that you have given the right boundaries to that person. And when I say that, meaning this, just saying what you expect out of someone, out of a relationship. I want you to open my door. I want you to pull my seat back. I want you to always have something to say about where we're going to eat. I, First of all, that's one sided too. So we need to know what the other person, their expectations, and they should be able to share that. Um, but when it's not, there's something totally different. So seeking some support, talking to someone you believe that will give you a trusted opinion, meaning a real one, not a fake one. Oh, yeah, you are so right. He is just treating you so wrong. And you're like, oh, what did he do that was treating me wrong? I remember when you said last week. Well, what was it I said last week? Um, well, girl, you know. And you're like, I need you to be specific. I need you to help me. help me see myself. And it doesn't mean that they're going to help you like they're your therapist. Because if you want to see a therapist, you need a therapist, you need to go see a therapist. Period. I got numbers. You need to go see a therapist. And if you want to see a coach, I'm right here. Just put in the comment. Call me D, and I do charge. But for this, I do not. So keep that in mind, please. Make sure that person is a trusted friend, a friend that you know that if you give your information to, it is not going to be shared with everybody down the street, around the corner, at the job site. You know what I mean? To be all up in the war. What do they say at the what was it, the office? They used to say the water cooler. Everybody's at the water cooler. Everybody getting water, and they're out there. Mm-hmm. Did you see? Oh, girl, she came here. Mm-hmm. Or he was like, what? So yeah, none of that, please. So you also need to build your support system. If it's somebody, if you don't have a close family member, a close friend, find a common denominator within your group, and it could be community. It could be, I love to play. I love trivia. So then you go find a group that likes trivia. They're all over the sites. Are you kidding me? There's sites called all types of sites that you can find that have people who love trivia. There you go. There's already somebody. If you're a word guru, then you can find people who are all about, hey, let's go do this. There's Scrabble people. There's all types of people out there are looking for someone like you that is just like them, that likes that. And normally, the fun thing about it is when you have that community and you really look into that and invest time to be in those little groups, you get out of the house. You see who you are. People will always let you know who you are when they don't know you even more. So you will find your support system. Believe me or believe it. And when you're doing things that you like to do and you have fun doing, what happens is everybody feels uplifted. Everybody had a great night. Everyone's encouraged. Everybody feels empowered. Unless they have someone who shows toxic behavior. So, again, you're looking for people you can trust, okay? You can trust that are encouraging. Not for one time you see them, not for two times, but they encourage. And yes, they may have some things that happen in their life that can bring them down and to the point where they are crying. And guess what? It happens to all of us. Ain't nobody perfect, including me. So, stay humble, give grace, show them grace, I should say, but be you. And if you're still finding out who you are, like I said, get a group of people, you will find out pretty soon. And ask people that love you, and they'll tell you the truth. And you might not like it, but it'll be the truth. Prioritize your well-being. So taking care of you. So you've already got that support group, right? But now you're going to be all about the well-being piece. How am I going to take care of myself? What am I going to do? You need to do things that build you up, that you like to do, whether it could be reading, it could be walking, it could be forms of exercise, it could be finding a new recipe, it could be a lot of things. There's so traveling. I love to travel. I have, um, in my case, it's a little deeper than, the traveling piece, even though I love to travel, but I like to meditate. And I like to do it like 10, 15 times a day. Or not times a day. Ooh, that's a lot. When I have time. I don't have time for you guys. See, that's why I missed. No, sorry, just kidding. But no, I like to take to 10 minutes out of my day or 15 minutes out of my day to do that. So I usually like to do that in the morning before I do anything else because it keeps me going. Um, so those types of things and puts me in a really great mood, but also at the same time, there's some of us that like to be outside and they like to sit and, um, take in nature. So there you go. Or like me, who like to be in the water, love to swim, just waiting for somebody to say, let's go swimming. They don't. I'm like, I'll go swimming in the pool. I don't care. By myself. Whatever. It's all good. Um, so those are the things to think about, right? So we talked about that, and that's why this is number three when it comes to our part series of toxic behavior. Because again, I want to stress you need to recognize what they're doing, pay attention to what they're doing, stay focused on that. because then you'll know what it is exactly they do that upsets you. And so you can set those boundaries and saying, this is why I'm setting this boundary, because when they do this, I feel like this. But then when they do that, I feel like that. So there's no boundary for that. You know what I mean? So making sure we do that. And then of course, as I mentioned, the support piece and all back to you again, prioritizing your self-care, which we're gonna go into a couple of other stages of that. So the other stage of that would be focusing on positive interactions. So when you are with someone, I kind of touched on it earlier. Sorry, I always give myself away. But think about those positive times. Have you ever got with a friend and it doesn't matter if you're talking about something sad or you're talking about something that could be really depressing, um, that you'll have a moment. You might even shed a tear. And the next thing, you snap out of it. And you're like, where did it go? I mean, I know we touched on that, but after I left, I didn't even remember we touched on that because I felt so great afterwards. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that type of interaction. And sometimes it might still be a sadness, especially if it's something fresh that just happened today. Literally. Unfortunately have to go to a funeral and it's a friend that you both shared, but you have each other. And the first thing you want to do is hug, right? And then the next thing you want to do is talk about the good times that you had. And remember that when we did such a, she was so crazy. You know, it's like she's such a nut. I can't believe she used to do that. Or he used to drive me crazy when he did that, but now I miss it so much. And then you all do some little dance or whatever and etc. But again, it's always about bringing having those interactions that really bring you joy. They can take you from being so here mediocre to the extraordinary moment. Um, even when you don't think that you don't go into it like that. You think, oh well, I'm gonna go to this wake or I'm gonna go to this event. And it's gonna remind me of so and so. And then you get there and that friend or those friends or those interactions, or even strangers, make you totally forget all of that. It's a beautiful moment. And then the biggest thing, guys, and I can't reiterate this more than ever. I've already talked about it on part two. Do not blame yourself. You will have someone with toxicity, toxic energy, toxic behavior. They will continuously blame you. Everyone is to blame. Everybody is to blame. The cashier clerk, the one behind the stand, the person bus boy who ain't even come to the table. So what are you blaming him for? He didn't change. What you got? Move the glass? I mean, he's a busboy. He's supposed to bust the table. Hello. You know what I mean? Getting cut off in traffic. I mean, there's so many different examples that toxicity will show up, and you're like, whoa, okay, how do I handle this? And you can try your best sometimes to not even get in an argument and still get into one because they say you're the reason why they cussed you out. You're the reason why you made me feel this way. It's because of you. Because you have too much empathy. You're too sensitive, or you don't get it. And you're like, oh, I get it. I get it plenty of well. I see you. I get it that well. Because you are a bully, period. And you don't listen to what I said not to do. So therefore, you keep doing it. And when you do it, I react. So, how do we stop from reacting? We start lessening our interactions. We start this other part, which I'm going to share at the end. So stay to the end, guys. Okay, we're at 14. Sorry. Remember that it's not your fault. Blame game. Don't allow them to blame you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Because they are the ones who have the behavioral problem. It is their issue, and so therefore they need to take responsibility for it and not put it on you because you spoke up and didn't agree with them. Oh my goodness, you don't think that my water bottle is oh, and you're like, okay, time to go. Seriously. So last but not least, and I definitely want to get into this more. So there might be a part 4 tomorrow. It's good stuff. I'm All right, so it's called the gray rock method. This part. Avoid giving them emotional reactions. If you think about being a rock, how do you act? Think about it. Let's all become gray rocks for a minute. What would you do? Absolutely nothing. You wouldn't say anything. You wouldn't do anything. I've got a couple of gray rocks, so don't be looking at me like that, but I do. And they're really important because this one says believe, and that happens to be a word. I don't know if you can see that I love. It's my favorite word in the world. Um, and then I become this. It doesn't mean I move. My head keeps what's in here keeps fluttering. And my lashes. What's in here keeps fluttering. So I keep on thinking about, oh, this has been a worst date ever. Oh, I cannot believe they are complaining about their drink. Oh my gosh, I really don't want to get in the car with them. When I get to the house, I'm going to break up with them. I am done. I will make it home. And that's when they start asking you questions because they know they pissed you off, right? And they're trying to get a rise out of you. And you're the gray rock and you just you sit like this. And then they say, hey, you ready to go? Yeah. Did you want to? No, I'm just going to go home. I'm not feeling great. And you're not. They have been extremely draining of your high. You were you were feeling great when you got on this date. And then or you were feeling amazing when you got with your girlfriend or your one of your people you work with and went out for happy hour. But then doom to doom, here comes negative Nelly. And then the world changed. The space changed. The environment changed. What was once up is no longer there. It is what it is, folks, but you have to be the one that makes that change, right? So don't give them any of your drama and don't get drawn into their drama because you will get drawn into their drama because they will keep on making sure of that. And then last but not least, focus on neutral topics. So if you must interact with them because you work with them, keep the conversation brief and focus on neutral topics. That's what I got for you guys. I went over a little bit. I am so sorry. I apologize. But I thank you for reaching out to me. And I hope this helps you understand what it looks like when you get to the third part when it comes to toxicity in a relationship. Have a great one, guys. Remember to keep it what? Bright. And don't let anyone else do what? Dim your light. And like and subscribe.